Clark is on the trip with the team, and they're hoping to have him back soon, but his return date TBD. Here's Wei Lin starting in place of the injured Jackson Shelstad. A second opportunity, and that just
they've done that, but to get over the hump and win some of these games.
Nice pass from Lin to Stewart, and he can't connect.
6-game losing streak for Oregon. Dan Altman said really he was happy with his team's effort for the most part.
Yeah.
The Washington game, they gave up almost 20 offensive rebounds. That's where he got frustrated. A foul.
Complexion of this one looks like as we get going here, I don't think Oregon's going to want to try and run with UCLA.
Bilodeau bumped and fouled by Sean.
It doesn't matter, but UCLA's schedule does, on paper, seem to open up a little bit here. 2 home games last week here at Oregon, home again next week. And so they're right in the thick of things. They're only a 3-loss Big Ten team. So tied for 5th with Wisconsin. You see last year versus this year. And so they got a chance to go on a run here. Won those 2 last week like we talked about in the Open. But they got to take care of business tonight. The one thing I keep thinking about with this Oregon team is they know they're playing free and open. There's no expectation because of all the injury. And so when you play a team like that, they're dangerous.
Sean Stewart, tough shot, and Evans working hard for the offensive rebound. And then throws an interception.
Well, one thing you won't see that we've seen a lot of out of UCLA lately because of this zone is that Bilodeau dent screen roll game at the top. So you see against the zone, they're going to put Bilodeau on Stewart.
Devon Pryor.
The rebounding is going to be a big key in this one.
Pryor just created that look, and again Lindsey can't connect.
Daly's been hot to start. Daly attacks, and that goes out of bounds.
Oregon doing a good job on Bilodeau here early. Their leading scorer. Can they get him going? Right on cue.
And he can't get it to go down, but there's Booker, and
has really been challenged this year by Mick Cronin and his staff to change the way he plays. You and I have talked about it. Be more of an inside presence, rim protector, rebounder, runner, not just a perimeter 3-point shooter.
Alexander Kopsitsky into the game for Oregon. Dan Altman getting a lot of his guys in here early.
deep 3, and Phillips hits it.
He's got that ability to stretch the floor. Not known coming out of high school as a really good 3-point shooter, but has gotten better at it. And that one was from deep. That was NBA range.
He put on a great display of shooting after shoot-around today, the team's day of game practice. They hit a bunch of threes and found the stroke and built off the mark.
A little quick for that. Off the bounce, contested from behind the line.
Kwame Evans hit 2 so far in this game, and that loose ball's chased down by Daly, who started with 8 points for the Bruins and pushes it up ahead.
Now, I mentioned earlier, Guy, I felt like Oregon would take the air out of it a little bit, slow it down. I really sense that out of them.
Bilodeau could
have enough room to get it up and over Booker.
First basket for Wei Lin, and Booker just rips that board away. Bilodeau in traffic gets fouled by Johnson. Bilodeau 87% free throw shooter, swishes the first.
Early in the season, if you remember, Guy, Bilodeau was 50-40-90 for a while. Not quite that, but still 50-40 and just a hair under that 90. Never been done at UCLA, a 50-40-90 season. So if he can rip off a run here of free throws and get himself back to 90, that would be impressive.
At 50% tonight.
Phillips, that was real tough.
And there are only 8 scholarship players on this Oregon team right now. Team that's playing.
That's right. And that includes F.A. Vatan, who's a freshman who played 1 minute against Washington the other night from Turkey. That was his debut. So they don't, even less. There's Biddle.
Again, I look at it the other way, Guy. For these players, an opportunity to show what you got to earn more minutes when these other guys ain't.
Bilodeau and Daly have 20 of the 30 Bruin points.
Lin, he tougher than the first 2 he didn't make. tonight.
We just talked about coming into the game how well he's been playing. 18 points, 9 assists coming in the last 2. Cut out for the year. Nate Biddle, the star big man, out tonight, hoping to return maybe next week. Takai Simpkins also out. That's a lot of points unavailable for Oregon. Here's Bilodeau. And meanwhile, Sean Stewart is starting the second half for Oregon. He's got 3 fouls.
Oregon continues to play that zone, and UCLA did a great job of attacking inside and then spraying it out.
Opening up a 16-point lead, largest of the night for UCLA. Evans hit a couple of threes early in this game. Goes into traffic where Jamerson walls him off.
Looking for the whistle, didn't get it, Sean Stewart.
UCLA playing 5-on-4, and now Evans gets back into action.
Surprised Bilodeau didn't pull the trigger on that. You know what he's really good at is he doesn't need a lot of space to get that 3 ball off.
He does get that rebound, and in some traffic scores over Stewart.
Oregon back to man-to-man.
Here's Bilodeau facing up on Evans. Jamerson can't.
Went right through him, got it knocked out, but stayed with it and finished the play.
Dance, no, and Bilodeau, he grabbed the rim trying to dunk it. It popped out, but he's able to.
Probably threatening being over 40.
Tyler Bilodeau fouled before the timeout at the line and adds to his total. Bilodeau 13, and almost half of them come at the free throw line.
Workmanlike so far from UCLA, hadn't it been, Guy? This would have been easy for UCLA to come in here off of 2 big wins last week. Oh, Oregon's down, no one's playing, and not show up. They've had the right disposition right from the start. Mick Cronin is so good at that. I've talked to him so many times about human nature stuff and overcoming that, and building your habits and staying with them. That it's rare that UCLA isn't.
Collision he had earlier in the game for UCLA. Evans with a size mismatch, but it's way out at the
coming Bilodeau,
and it creates a turnover. Perry's dent so far tonight with 15 points and 4 assists. Bilodeau, smart play, and gets the foul on
himself. 3 free throws. Just like that, back to 16.
Yeah, 20 cut down to 10. Mick Cronin's group, we mentioned last year they got hot. The year before they also got hot mid-January. And, keep in mind they're doing this right now without Sky Clark, who, you talk to the opposing coach day of game at shoot-around, his name always seems to come up. And he's dealing with a hamstring injury.
Well,
he's hoping to return soon.
You're right, Guy, and here's the good news. If they do win these tonight and the next 3, no one's going to be talking about them not being in it.
I don't hate having Michigan and Michigan State. They've got opportunities still ahead. They've got 5 quadrant 1 games left on their schedule. Evans,
for years, are surprised that his team's still playing, still competing. They just don't have enough offense right now. Just don't.
Dent gives it up to Bilodeau, and the loser was it knocked away. It does not get any easier. They're going to hit the road after the Rutgers, or after the Iowa game here on Sunday, and go on maybe the most difficult road trip you can cook up in all of college basketball when it comes to environment. Well, Purdue and Indiana.
You mentioned it earlier. Hopefully Nate Biddle can come back. Sounds like Simpkins may be back soon. So that would obviously help.
It was a 20-point game at the most. Going to fall to 1-9 in league play, and not that it's good necessarily, but they're still top 100 in KenPom. It tells you a little bit about their metrics. Now, of course, some of that is based on, you know,
Who's big on the ball in those baseline out of bounds situations.
Daimara gone, of course, to